I'm Cori, and this is According to Cori. And thank you guys so much for coming back and watching my video. So, as you can see, today is going to be a little different than it usually is. I'm in a different area than I usually record because I had other plans, and things just haven't worked out that great for me today. So, or this week in general. I wanted to first apologize for not doing a video last week. I had a death in the family, and I needed some time to get through that and really focus on myself. So I'm sorry, but I'm back. I'm here, and as you can see, I got new glasses. What you guys think? Am I pretty? Anyway, I also wanted to apologize. I was looking back at my past videos, and I noticed that I say anyways a lot to like change the subject. So I'm gonna work on that and try not to say that as much. Also, I say like a lot. Also gonna try to work on that, but I may not be able to do that one quite yet because I say it all the time. Also, if you ever see the camera just kind of like flop or fall or move or jiggle or anything, it's because I have to kind of hold it in a certain way in my car to be able to actually record, and I kind of switch hands because my hands get really tired, and yeah. Anyway, so I did it again. I'm going to try to do this as the first video and the only video. Last time I did maybe like 2 or 3 times, I think, on the last video I did. But I'm going to try to do this on the first try. And I am super excited to talk today. Also kind of nervous and anxious because I'm talking about anxiety, because I experience it, and I know a lot of you guys might, and a lot of other people do, and kind of wanted to share my story with it. And also I wrote notes because I have a really hard time remembering what I'm going to say, even if it's like my story, like, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, well, I also kind of need notes to kind of guide me. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the difference between my anxiety attacks and my panic attacks. And I kind of want to give a disclaimer first. I would still recommend, if you guys are struggling with anxiety as well, to go to a counselor or a therapist to kind of work through it, because that's what I did, and I feel like it was very helpful in some ways. I've also had bad experiences with therapists, but I also feel like they can help you in ways that a friend or someone who's experienced it can help. So a lot of my anxiety stems from trauma, and so I think that it's important to kind of get an expert's opinion to kind of help you with it. But anyway, so I've had both anxiety and panic attacks. So to kind of start us off, I wanted to give a little bit of the difference between them, but I also want to say I've had them simultaneously as well. So they kind of go hand in hand, and they kind of don't. Switch hands. So kind of with anxiety, I, get those fears of danger with my anxiety attacks. But with my panic attacks, I feel like it's more of like, I feel like I'm dying. Like, I feel like I'm dying, and I'm gonna die from XYZ, the situation, my life, like everything. I just feel like I'm dying. Whereas in anxiety attacks, I feel like I'm in danger. I don't necessarily feel like I'm dying. With anxiety attacks, I feel very nervous. I feel like in both of them, I feel really nervous and stressed and like, which is hyperventilation, which I also feel with both of them. I can also experience like increased heart rate, things like that. Something that was really kind of a big difference between my anxiety attacks and panic attacks was that when I was in a panic attack, I would feel numb and tingly, was the best way to explain it. And so that would kind of begin a increase. So sometimes I would start as an anxiety attack, and then my brain would just go bloop, 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 and then it would kind of go towards panic attack because it would become more and more intense, and I couldn't get out of it. So yeah, I mean, there's other there's other there's also other signs and symptoms that I experience that I'm not necessarily going to go over right now, just because, one, some of them are kind of personal. Two, if you have more questions or you want to know more about my story, I would really love if you guys messaged me or contact me through social media so that I can maybe go into more details and, maybe help you out more or give more advice or anything, or just be a listening ear. I'm good with whatever. So some of the coping mechanisms that I kind of tried first was meditation. However, it didn't really work for me. Like, meditation was really hard. I couldn't just sit there for 5 minutes and not think. Like, I still think and my mind still goes crazy, and I'm still really anxious during meditation. And so it didn't necessarily work for me, but I'll talk more about it later in this video. And I tried dance. I took a dance class at my college, and I feel like that sort of helped, coupled with like specific type of meditation. I also tried aromatherapy and essential oils, so trying to use essential oils that would kind of help me calm down, that would help me sleep, that would help me do all those things. Tried exercising. I've tried writing or like journaling my feelings, my thoughts, everything. I've tried audio recording, and I've tried changing my diet. Like I said, I'm not going to mention all of my coping mechanisms because some of them are personal. However, I'm going to tell you the things that worked for me and that helped me or subsided a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, which I mentioned earlier, was dance. I took a dance class, and it was all about learning, like, using my own movement. It really talked about authentic movement, which is allowing your body to just move the way that you feel it should move, and how it can help you move, and how to express your feelings through your movement. It wasn't necessarily like dancing, but it was more so focusing on how each body part moves and how your breath is impacting that. So I really felt like dance helped me in that, and it also helped with meditating on the fact of focusing on my breath. So really thinking about me breathing in and breathing out, and thinking about, like, really, really thinking about how I'm breathing and what's moving, what does it feel like, what is it doing to my body, those kinds of things. I also really liked how this dance really like helped me express my feelings, because I didn't have to say anything. And sometimes it's really hard to explain what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. And so being able to dance and just kind of like show what I'm feeling, I felt was really helpful for me. Also, I tried essential oils, and they did help. They did help oftentimes, especially when I was struggling really, really bad with sleeping. I would use some essential oils and things like that. I also use it for like kind of, my self-care moments. So I would like light some candles and put my diffuser on with the essential oils, and they were specifically for anxiety and stress and those kinds of things. And it helped. It just depended on the severity, I feel like, of my anxiety. And most importantly, I really, 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 really focus on praying. I am a strong Christian, and I really did feel like when I prayed that God would help me through some of it. And I know He can get me through anything. However, sometimes my brain kind of takes over, and even praying couldn't help me get through some of my panic attacks and through some of my anxiety attacks. So, but I really did feel like prayer helped me subside my symptoms. And I also did audio recording, which surprisingly helped me a lot. Because I tried writing and journaling, and it made it really hard for me. Not saying audio recording doesn't make it hard for me, but I feel like when I was audio recording, it was like I was just talking to someone about it, like a therapist or whatever, but I really was just talking to myself. So, of course, I would do it in places people weren't watching because they'd probably be like, this chick's talking to herself. But yeah, I would find a quiet, safe place and I would audio record myself and later listen back and think, okay, how can I use that and how can I fix that? First, before anything, I would try to figure out what my triggers were. And that was really hard. Like, some of my triggers are like big groups of people. And so I would have to kind of ease my way into bigger crowds and to try and get over that, which I still struggle sometimes with it. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm all better. I'm fixed. I'm, still healing. I'm still trying to get through it. But, I think that coping with it has been something that really has helped me get to a place where I can actually function during the day and not constantly be on edge 24/7, stressed, anxious, always feeling like I'm dying, all those things. But I think the thing that really helped me the most was changing my diet. And that was also very hard because I love food and I want to eat every chocolate thing I can find. But I tried what's called the paleo diet. And this was a couple months back. I tried the paleo diet, and that's, not eating any grains or sugar, dairy, any of the things that are like processed. So everything was really, it's called the caveman's diet. And so you're basically eating what you would have had access to in the caveman era or whatever. And so I did that for a couple months and it was really, really helpful. I felt like I had a lot more control, I guess. I felt like I had more control. I felt like I had more energy. So when I would feel anxious, it would oftentimes lead to depression because I would feel like I was crazy and then I get upset with myself and big circle. And I felt like that really helped me kind of gain more energy and get past my feelings of depression and anxiety. So what I would have on this is like a balanced diet with meats, not processed meats, but meats. So it's not a vegetarian diet or anything. But there was no grains, no dairy, less sugar. I can have a little bit of sugar, but I try really hard to not have sugar because sugar can really actually make me a little more shaky and a little more anxious. I would try to have more healthy fats rather than not good fats. I would also, have lots of vegetables and fruits, things like that. And honestly, I felt like my energy just soared from then. And I'm trying to get back onto it. I have stopped it for a while just because I compromised in my head, like, oh, well, I'm stressed, so I'm going to stress eat instead, or focusing on other things. And I also did exercise, and exercising really helps me as well get out of all of that tension and frustrations. So I feel like coupled with it, is the healthy diet and my exercise, I feel like has really kind of improved how I'm feeling and with my anxiety and pushing past it and saying, it's okay that I'm anxious right now. Like, I accept that I'm anxious and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with me. But also giving myself some, like, something to look to, like being like, okay, you're eating healthy. Focus on eating healthy right now. Like, you should not eat that whole thing of chocolate cake because it looks good. You should eat something else that you can eat more of because it's healthy for you and it will make you feel better in the future. And yeah, like, I really do like this diet. So I just started on Monday again. Well, I had started and then I stopped and then I started and then I stopped. But I'm starting again. I started on Monday and I'm really going to focus on eating better because I have noticed that, like, my anxiety has increased recently. And I'm like, it has to be because I haven't been eating well and I haven't been exercising as much. And so, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy, like, listening to me, or maybe you didn't enjoy and that's okay. But I really do hope that you can take something from this. Like maybe you can try one of the coping mechanisms I used, or I tried and didn't work, or something I've tried and works. I also wanted to like leave it open to you guys again to comment if you have questions, if you have any other coping mechanisms. I would love to hear your coping mechanisms as well, because everyone's different. Things will work for some people that won't work for others, and I just really want to kind of make a conversation about this stuff. I don't want to just be me talking to you guys. I want you guys to talk back. And like I said, you can message me on social media or on this YouTube page and on this video. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and were able to get something out of it. And anyway, I will see you guys next week, I hope, on Thursday. And I'm sorry for the changing of scenery and changing of movement and not great lighting and all that jazz. But I hope you come back next week to see me. And I love all of you guys as usual. And I'm going to give you a big kiss. Mwah! And I hope you come back. And if you have questions, message me. Message me! I like messages. And I will message back. And I will also be a listening ear if you need a listening ear, because I love listening to people and I want to be there for everyone. And if you just need someone to like vent to, like message me. We can video chat, we can do whatever. I know I'm on here way too long. So anyway, I love you peeps. You are all beautiful and wonderful people. If you struggle with these things, please consult a therapist or a counselor if you are really struggling, and I hope you guys come back next week. Mwah!